Hi everybody. This is under to some algorithm from LeetCode, and I'm going to try to solve it. And it goes like this: given an array of integers, return indices of two numbers such that they adds up to a specific target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution, and you may not use the same element twice. Given the nums array of 2, 7, 11, and 15 with a target of 9, because nums at the index of 0 and nums at the index of 1 equals 2 plus 7, which is equal to the target. So we can easily return 0, which is the index of 2, and 1, which is the index of 7. So what I'm going to do is first try to solve this algorithm by the easy way, which can be a time complexity of big O n squared. So I'm going to first create an empty array which will be holding the indexes of my two matching numbers to return. And this is my first loop. Um, and this is going to be my second loop. And my second loop is going to start off by the second number after I. Whatever I is, it's going to pick on the second number and try to add up both numbers. And if both numbers are equal to the target, so we can easily push those two indexes inside our result array. So now we can use an if statement and check if nums at the index of I plus nums at the index of j equals target. So we can push I and j in our result array and return the result array. So now let's run the code. Okay, looks good. Let's submit. Okay, so as you can see, the code is being accepted. So let's hear more details about this code. We have a runtime of 164 milliseconds, and the runtime mm, submission of this code is among 26-70% of JavaScript submission, which isn't that good at all. So let's try to solve this code by using a time complexity of big O n, which means it is going to loop through the array once. So what I'm going to do first is to create a previous num object, which is going to start off with an empty hash. And for my loop, and now we increment I as we move along. And so now what we can do, we're going to grab the current num first. And it should be nums at the index of I. And so now we are going to try to find the needed number to complete the current number to have the matching number, which can be the target. So we're going to call it var needed num. We're going to set it equal to the target minus the current num. This variable will exactly give us which num we are missing to complete the current num to add up and have our target number. So now we can have an this variable which can be equal to previous num and which can be equal to the needed num. So with what this is doing is just taking the needed number and adding it inside our previous num. So now we can check if the index is not undefined. So what we want to do, we want to just return our index. Instead of calling index, let's just call it index. It's going to be index. We can just return our index and plus I. And I is the index we get into our loop, and I, yes, is the index we get into our loop. So now what we can do is if else, in case index is undefined, we want to set the previous num by the current num to be equal to I. So now we can run the code and see what we get. Okay, okay, I have an error. Yeah, shouldn't be right there, but it should just be right there. Previous num. Okay. Sorry for the mistyping. Okay, so now we have, it looks good. This is my answer, and this is the expected answer. So let's submit the code. Okay, the code is being accepted. Let's see. Okay, now as you can see, it is 88 milliseconds, and this code is among 61% of JavaScript submission, which is pretty good. I think so. So, uh, mm. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you next time for another algorithm walkthrough.